This leader is provided to permit the projectionist to adjust the projector before the film begins.
Hey, lady! This is a police officer.
Oh, thank God.
Tell me what the trouble is.
I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to have a baby right now. Please help me. Help me.
My name is Skip Belsheimer. I collect, curate, program, show old educational films. Film or video is an easy way to kind of explain some concepts. You know, there's all types of training films. There's training films for people who work in the insurance industry, real estate. But what I liked about police training films is that they're kind of gritty. You know, it's about dealing with the public. So they're trying to portray, you know, what it's going to be like out in the field. Yeah, I have ones on how to use shotguns, ones on how to do high pursuit, what happens when somebody throws a Molotov cocktail at you. But one of my favorite ones is Sudden Birth, which is a film made for police officers on how to deliver a baby in the back of a car. I have other educational films that have live births in them. None of them have the impact that Sudden Birth does. And the thing about it is when you watch it, it's not very well produced. The acting is very bad, very forced.
An ambulance is on the way. How is she?
I'm scared. When Ann called me to take her to the hospital, I didn't think, oh, why did I get a flat tire?
Listen, don't worry. We'll manage.
Like, this is just amateur, low budget, you know, no good. And so by the time you actually get to the birth, it is shocking. The main police officer in this film is actually a doctor in real life.
He was excited to be doing it. He was really proud of it, and I remember that. And he kind of acts dumb. And, I mean, his role is to play the innocent, kind of oblivious, naive police officer. At that point, he'd probably delivered who knows how many hundreds of babies.
How is she? What's the situation?
The baby's being born, I think. What'll we do?
Your friend is scared enough. Why don't you go around to the other side of the car and try to keep her calm?
And there was some odd aspect to his voice, and it's because he's Dutch.
He and his twin almost did everything together. So there's two of them that they're doing it, except that my uncle didn't do movies. The Germans were trying to draft him to actually fight in the German army. Neither of them would talk about their time during the war. They were really just wanted to get away and become Americans. At Berkeley in those days, they were pretty much the leading edge of obstetrics and gynecology. They really were. They were pretty famous, probably because there was two of them.
I can tell you the whole story, partly because I was very much aware of it as it was being done at home, and I was actually on set for some of the sequences. My father was a TV director in the control room. I know he excelled at that. So my father wrote a script and chose to film a live birth so that the officers would see this is what you're dealing with and this is how you do it. My dad auditioned 2 or 3 mothers. I don't know how.
That just was one of his patients, and so she agreed to be the patient in the police car.
I know that they filmed the actual live birth sequences in a cutaway car located in a house that was empty because it was about to be demolished behind the hospital for expansion. My father checked with the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, she's still 3 weeks away. Don't worry. Go ahead on your trip. He was going on a weekend trip and was not home. Sunday morning, we got a telephone call. She's in labor. My mother tried to reach my dad, wasn't able. And since she knew the whole thing, she actually went and directed that scene. She told me she took the camera when the cameraman couldn't handle it any longer.
What you're about to see, this will show you in no uncertain terms where babies come from.
You're doing fine.
Whoa, what was that?
Will you please calm down? Wipe her forehead. The baby's head is coming.
Relax, Anne. Relax. Ah.
Everything is going okay.
It's a boy, Anne.
Would you like to hold your baby? Here.
You're a beautiful mother.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you too, officer. Both of you. I was sure worried.
Me too.
The reason I know when Sudden Birth is filmed is the only other full-blooded sibling I ever had was a brother that was born not quite 6 months before. He lived for 51 days, never came home, and died, which is why my mom told me the story. She was quite upset at having to be there, let alone do all she had to do while she was there because of the recent loss. We later found out that the reason we couldn't reach him was he was with his girlfriend, who later became his wife and the mother of my brother. So the whole thing's really quite tied up in our family history. That's why I have some knowledge of it.
I mean, I think this is a compelling film, and it's a progressive film in a way. So I'm interested to know more, certainly.
I don't know if you'd call them sequels, but Dr. Biernig did follow-ups to Sudden Birth.
Huh. I did not know that. I'm going to look these up in my database to see if I got them. What do you know? I've got Shared Cesarean Beginning, which is Henrik E. Bernick.
You have that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
Okay. Wow. What's the what? Is it just sitting somewhere or?
Yeah, it's on a shelf. I mean, dude, I got 25,000 films. So sometimes a film, and honestly, cesarean films are not the film I always enjoy watching.
Okay, well, my name is Keith Merrill. I grew up in a small rural community in Utah from five generations of Mormon pioneers, essentially. We have 8 children, 37 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. I gravitated into filmmaking with no expectation, really, that I would ever do it professionally. 3 years later, took on The Great American Cowboy. Once we won the Academy Award, of course, it got a lot easier.
The winner is The Great American Cowboy, Keith Merrill.
So we were living in Berkeley, California when first baby was born. By asking around, we met the Biernicks. That's when he then said, I'd like to do a second one with the cesarean.
That's our boy, I told you.
It's Kay Teagan and Jonathan Teagan. It was on the Discovery Channel. I was in 5th grade, and I got a lot of stuff from the recess crowd after that.
I didn't know that.
One kid found out about it and told pretty much the whole class. So
Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, In Search of, Leonard Nimoy.
There's a feeling that people created by laboratory manipulation would be less than human. A sense that something evil may be on the horizon. Can mankind clone itself? The Biernig twins are one of 2 pairs of identical twin gynecologists in the country.
I think I'm a little more sedate, a little more likely to let nature take its course, whereas my brother is a little more aggressive, a little more likely to rock the boat.
Provocative, or maybe volatile, is the word that I like to use.
And this is why I like collecting these films, is these films were made by people. And then you learn all this about the person when you peel back. You're like, oh, this started this person. And they're not a celebrity, but they're a person that had a rich life, like either before the film was made or after the film was made. So this is kind of a way that you get to learn about other people and you learn about other things. But it really is a smart film. I mean, not that I'm tempting fate here, but I feel like I could probably help deliver a baby if I was confronted with that situation. I could probably receive the baby, as the film says.
You mean that's all there is to do, just receive the baby? There must be something else.
Yes, you support the baby and keep it clear of any waste. And hold on to it. They're slippery.